An 8-year-old girl has tragically died after her babysitter's 11-year-old son allegedly shot her in the head using a gun that he stole from a relative's safe. The 8-year-old girl concerned, her name Jenesis Dockery, was shot. This happened July 23rd in Fayetteville, North Carolina, just 1 hour after her father dropped her off at the nanny's home, the babysitter's home, with Genesis's 5-year-old sister. The babysitter's son, 11 years old, allegedly got his hands on a gun and shot her in the head. Jenesis was rushed to hospital, but tragically she died 2 days later. Jenesis has been described as an energetic young girl who enjoyed making dancing videos, and she loved everybody. Her family have been left heartbroken over the death and are campaigning for justice. We're told that the 11-year-old boy, the babysitter's son, is currently in custody. Investigators said there is enough evidence to charge him with manslaughter. So I guess we could comment manslaughter, not murder. Does that mean that this wasn't premeditated, that it was an accident? I don't think we know at this point. So I'm going to say full condolences, of course, to the family and friends of the victim, 8-year-old Jenesis Dockery. We see the photos of the father and the mother. Both are absolutely destroyed. You can see in the photos they are just emotionally ripped apart. You can also see in the photos their family and friends also ripped apart, saddened, hugely touched by the unnecessary loss of Jenesis Dockery, an energetic young girl who loved to dance. She loved everybody, so she was a ray of sunshine, and she's been taken away. And her life was taken away by an 11-year-old boy who may be charged with manslaughter. Maybe he'll face other charges. Maybe those charges will be upgraded to murder. That 11-year-old boy, his life destroyed. His family's life destroyed. So how did this happen? Well, ultimately it happened because the 11-year-old boy had access to guns in the family home. With that, Genesis' parents are campaigning to increase gun violence awareness. And I applaud that. I applaud Genesis's parents, her father Fon Dockery and her mother Kimberly Dockery, for responding to this awful tragedy with positivity by trying to make a difference, by trying to improve society, by calling for gun violence awareness. We know that this situation is going to happen again. We know that in a couple of days' time, I'll be making another video about another child who had access to an unsecured gun, who shot themselves, who shot another sibling, another parent even. It happens all the time in America, and only in America. And the reason why it happens in America is because you have a lot of guns. I'm pro-gun, to let you know. I support gun ownership personally, but only because you have the guns already. So you need to protect yourselves. Citizens need to protect themselves against criminals. The criminals have guns. The citizens need to have guns. That's how I view it. But with that comes enormous risk that children may access the guns. Felons may access the guns. The mentally ill, the suicidal, drug addicts, alcoholics may access the guns, which is why you need gun violence awareness. You need to secure your guns away from those who are not responsible with guns, and that obviously includes children. There is a little bit more to the story, to the case, and that is that the 11-year-old boy in question, the shooter, made multiple social media posts showing that he had access to guns. So I've not seen those social media posts, but seemingly he would fantasize about having guns, and seemingly he's accessed at least one gun before and shown that somehow on social media. So there is the argument that his parents ought to have been a lot more aware, not only of the boy's access to guns within the home, but also his fantasies in relation to guns. I'm going to comment on that part. I play video games. I've always played video games. I'm a grown adult, by the way. Still play video games. A lot of the video games are shooting, Call of Duty, Battlefield. A lot of them are set in modern day warfare environments, and it's fun. It's fun. Guns can be fun, or the idea of having guns can be fun. I've never handled a gun myself personally, never shot a gun, but I think it's fair to acknowledge that children, perhaps particularly boys, maybe not necessarily, but they're going to be inclined to play video games. They're going to have some level of interest, however casual, in guns, and I guess a parent needs to monitor that. It's normal, but you don't want a child to become overly obsessed and a real fantasist in regards to guns. That doesn't seem good, especially if those children have potential access to guns in the family home. So what's the answer? I guess the answer is what the parents are trying to do: increase gun violence awareness, educate the community that tragedies like this happen way too often. The life of Genesis taken away, 8 years of age, a ray of sunshine concern for her family and friends whose lives are now, I mean, I use the word destroyed. It's not entirely correct. Let's hope and pray that her family and friends are able to find happiness moving forward. It's going to take them a long time. The answer is increasing awareness and just hoping that more people act responsibly when they have guns in the home. I'm going to wrap things up at this point. If you appreciate the coverage, please do like, comment, subscribe, share the video as you see fit. I'm going to thank you for your time. I'm going to move on to the next subject. Moore has been troubled, believed to have suffered behavioral issues, seemingly troubles at home, which is commonplace. Rows are normal. But given that she had to leave home or felt the need to leave home and stay in multiple different youth centres, youth homes, indicates that there was a lot of problems at home for her, which is very sad. But we don't know the reasons why. Seemingly, those reasons are unrelated to her death. At the point of this article being published, the police seemingly are unaware of any connection between the prime suspect and the family, but perhaps more information will change that view. So I'm going to wrap things up at this point. If you appreciate the coverage, please do like, comment, subscribe, share the video as you see fit. Please don't watch too many of my videos. They're almost all of a very dark nature and they can get wearing. They can trouble you a little bit too much. They trouble me a little bit too much from time to time. So it's okay if you choose not to subscribe. It's okay if you choose to unsubscribe and give the channel a bit of a pass for a few weeks or so. That's fine. But I'm going to wrap things up. I'm going to thank you for your time and take care.